So what I'm doing is the first step in my white shoes that are going to be unicorns and shoes that are going to be bathtubs. And I've already started doing these. But what I'm going to do is take some of my glue. I use Mod Podge mixed with Aleene's. I'm going to spread that nice and even. I've got all my bathtubs and unicorns lined up so I can do it all in one go. Nice, efficient assembly line. So I'm going to spread this glue all over. And the fact that this is a black shoe or a beige shoe or a teal shoe, it does not matter because I'm going to paint it. And once I paint it white, it's going to be a nice opaque white that I can white glitter on top of. So I'm applying my glue all over. What I've got here is a bag of Invisible Jet. Since I'm doing a nice big batch, a bag is nice and efficient. I have a nice big 4-ounce jar to hold it so that I can work without constantly pouring glitter back into the jar. All right, so I've got my glue all over. And then I take my Invisible Jet and sprinkle that all over my glue. So this is exactly how I always glitter. The difference is once the Invisible Jet dries, I'm gonna paint white on top of that, and then I'm gonna start glittering with my glitter. Invisible Jet is useful for certain things. It's kind of got a creaminess to it, so if you blend it with another semi-sheer, it gives it kind of a creamy quality. So if you were doing like ice cream or mozzarella cheese, I use my Invisible Jet mixed with another semi-sheer. And so for the bathtub shoes, I don't do the inside because that's going to be filled up and I'm not going to waste my time or waste my glitter. Since I know that's going to be a bathtub shoe, I can leave the inside alone. On my unicorn shoes, on the other hand, I know I'm going to do white on the inside, so I went ahead and did Invisible Jet all the way around and inside. And I mentioned in another video, I know these are my unicorn shoes because they've got the little unicorn snout on them. So when I go through my shoes and I see that little snout, that's why. So the shoes that we prepped by putting a coat of Invisible Jet and then painting on top of it, the paint is all dry, and so those are ready to get glittered. So we're doing what I call white work. The trick to keep in mind when you're doing white work is you want to clean everything. Put down fresh paper, get a fresh clean folder, wash your brush really thoroughly. You don't want anything creeping in and cross-contaminating. Get yourself clean stuff, clean and ready, fresh glue, fresh everything, and that way you'll be ready to go. So I've got some bathtub shoes and I've got some unicorn shoes, and we're gonna go ahead and get the first coat of glitter on them. Hey gang, so all our white shoes that we painted, that we put Invisible Jet and then paint on top of the Invisible Jet, and now they're nice and whited over. These are ready to glitter now, so we're gonna go ahead and glitter these. So I've got the Dries White adhesive here, mixed with a little Aleene's. That's not mandatory, you don't have to use the Dries White, but it makes your whites pop a little bit more. It's totally up to you if you wanna use that. I am gonna go ahead and use that. So just a heads up, that's what I'm doing. So you'll notice that glue applied to paint does kind of feel a little different. It's just a different surface than if you're glittering directly onto your throw. So something to be mindful of. If it feels a little different and you feel like you need to add a little more or spread it out a little more, a little differently, that's totally normal. So as I'm adding glue all the way around, it's very hard to see the white glue on top of the white paint, and then I'm going to put white glitter, and I apologize for that, but it's the nature of the thing. So I'm just doing my first base coat. I'm treating this like a regular throw, where this would be my first glitter coat. So even though I've already done a coat of glitter and a coat of paint on here, I'm behaving like this is the usual starting place. And so that adds some steps to your overall experience, but then your shoe is like white, white, white. So this is just going to be my first coat of actual glitter, not just the structural glitter. So I've got that completely glittered. This is going to be a bathtub, so I'm doing Snow Job because I like that nice metallic white. I want it to kind of look like a white porcelain tub. So I'm spreading that all over, making sure I didn't miss any spots. So just as with a regular shoe, when my jar is empty, I take the jar, I set it down, I use the folder to pour it back in. That way my space is clean, my glitter is all back in the jar, no wasted glitter, and I can resume sprinkling glitter all over my lovely bathtub shoe. So she is ready to dry, and then I'll give her a second coat. I'm gonna do the second coat just like the first, except I'm gonna add some little dots that look like bubbles, like that bubble bath is just overflowing with bubbly loveliness, and we're gonna come back. So I'm just popping these Barbie legs off, just right at the joint. There we go, legs off. And then we're gonna slip her into the bathtub. Just gonna go right about there. I think that's gonna be good. Bathtub. And if you want to, you can have the legs kind of poking out of the bathtub. That is up to you. But I'm going to make sure she's really solidly in there. I usually put her arms out, put some fun things in her arms. Let that firm up a bit. And then I'm going to start filling in bubbles. And you want to put the bigger bubbles in first, and then add the smaller bubbles as you go. And just keep on filling in with the bubbles. So I'm continuing to add the bubbles. I filled in a lot of the big ones, and now I'm just going to continue to add the small ones on top, fill in the whole bath. You do want to make sure you cover her up.